I'm excited to introduce you all to today's keynote speaker. We will have time for Q&A with our speaker immediately after her keynote address, so please place any questions that may arise into the chat. Sumia Shaikh is a leader at Visible Hands, a venture capital firm that offers accelerator programs to underrepresented early stage founders. She started at the company as the founding chief of staff and investor, and now leads the brand, marketing, and communications efforts while managing a team and advising digital health, caregiving, and wellness companies. Sumia is a proud alumna of the University of Connecticut, where she earned a Bachelor of Science in Allied Health Sciences and double minors in Political Science and Human Rights. During her time at the university, she was actively involved in leadership activities and also participated in a summer study abroad program where she interned with a social entrepreneurship corporation in Guatemala. After graduating in 2015, Sumia started her career in the startup world by working with over 250 early stage startups at Mass Challenge, a global accelerator that provides support to startups in various industries. She managed complex programs, worked with stakeholders across levels and industries, and supported the launch of Mass Challenge Rhode Island in health tech. Sumia then joined Vertex Pharmaceuticals' Innovation and External Research team as a business transformation consultant, where she worked on diverse company-wide initiatives with leadership and became her team's go-to person for communications and creative marketing. Her contributions helped VIER be named an honoree for Innovation Leaders 2019 Impact Awards for Best New Initiative and earned her 3 department-nominated awards. Before joining Visible Hands, Sumia worked as a strategy consultant at Vivaldi, a boutique management consulting firm in New York City, where she focused on go-to-market, brand, and growth strategy projects for tech clients. Sumia considers the University of Connecticut to be one of her first sponsors for believing in her. At UConn, her peers, staff, and professors always encouraged her to chase her passions and relentlessly fuel her curiosity. Please help me in welcoming Sumia Shaikh.
Hi, everyone. Awesome. So I'll get started. I think I'm spotlighted now. So I'll get started. Well, good morning, career champions. It's an honor to be here today as a keynote speaker for the UConn Center for Careers Development's end of year recognition and celebration event. I am privileged to address all of you, a group of outstanding faculty, alumni, and employers that have made an incredible impact on the lives of countless students. As a proud alumna and former student leader, I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to share my experiences with you and acknowledge the essential role that you all play in shaping the careers and the lives of students like me. Thinking back to my time at UConn, I'm still struck by how much it shapes who I am today and influences my life and career. When I started at UConn in 2011, I was like many students, curious, eager to learn, but unsure of what I wanted to do with my life. One thing that I was sure of is that I wanted to have a positive impact and prepare for my career, whatever that would end up being. I was fortunate enough to attend UConn on a full scholarship called the Day of Pride Award, based on my commitment to multicultural diversity programs, leadership, and academic achievement in high school. While I felt so lucky to receive this opportunity, I was the first person in my family to attend university and the first person who's a woman to invest in my career and my education like this. Despite being so excited about this opportunity to break traditions of women who were in my family and what they were expected to do, I often felt very lost without the guidance of family members who had trodden this path before. Luckily, I did find inspiring mentors and sponsors who helped me navigate the challenges of figuring out what I wanted to do with my career. Throughout my academic endeavors and different, and you'll hear many of them, student leadership involvement, I worked with faculty and staff to help me develop critical career readiness skills. My experiences at UConn prepared me for the career that I have today, which hopefully I consider very successful. When I mention career readiness, I want to be transparent. I was not someone who graduated knowing precisely what I wanted to do. It took me 6 years and 4 jobs later to finally find a career that felt congruent with my passions, my skills, and my mission in life. What my undergrad experience did provide me with was the skills necessary to constantly evolve as a professional and developed my lifelong love of learning. As I learned more about the high impact career practices that are focused on today at UConn and the 8 career competencies that are identified by the National Association of Colleges and Employers, or NACE, 3 competencies really stand out to me: leadership skills, equity and inclusion, and self and career development. These competencies stand out as they were the ones that exceptional faculty and staff directly contributed to my development of. These are also competencies that I now look for as an employer and a people manager in my current role. To tell you a little bit more about my college experience, I'll caveat that I was a massive nerd. I graduated as an honors scholar, majoring in allied health science and concentrating in public health and program management. I completed double minors in human rights and political science. I also took classes like macro econ, healthcare management in the business school, and I audited a grad level biostats class for fun. While incredibly encouraging, my academic advisors, Marianne Morris and Dr. Copenhaver, astutely would ask me questions more like, just because you can't, should you? Which was really helpful to someone who is as ambitious and nerdy and very involved as me. Outside of constantly asking questions, learning critical thinking skills, and having absolutely zero chill in the classroom, I was also very involved on campus as a student leader. I founded or managed several student organizations. I was very involved in all those activities, including co-founding UConn Empower, serving as the co-chair of the Pan-Asian Council, chairperson for ASAC's Homecoming, sitting on the student affairs, student leadership council, spearheading all of spring weekend committee, being a college ambassador, helping launch TEDx, and unfortunately, many more. My idea of a fun Friday night was starting another school club or organizing a campus fundraiser. Through all of these things, I actually had ample opportunities to develop my skills around leadership and professionalisms, and faculty, staff, mentors celebrated my nerdiness and my drive for impact. Their encouragement nourished me with the boldness to take risks and learn invaluable leadership skills. Notably, I learned how to start something from nothing by co-founding UConn Empower, a student organization that did project-based sustainable development consulting for nonprofits in West Africa and South Asia. This was my first real startup experience, filled with scrappiness, a hunger to solve a problem much bigger than myself, and great support from mentors. Our mentors range from our Buckley Hall director, Juliana Yee, who taught us the importance of showing up authentically and listening to community experts in the populations that we wish to serve, to Dr. Shireen Hertel, who is a joint professor in the Department of Political Science and Human Rights, who also served as a consultant to foundations, NGOs, and the UN agencies in US, Latin America, and South Asia. Through this club, a 19-year-old version of me worked collaboratively to unify 100 students under a shared mission and develop our marketing and recruiting strategies, raised over $10,000, and organized 4 international trips abroad. NACE defines leadership as the ability to recognize and capitalize on personal and team strengths to achieve organizational goals. Through meetings with Juliana, Dr. Hertel, we'd get feedback on our mission, vision, and objectives. They would spend the time with our founding team and challenge us to think outside the box. I learned about my strength through student leadership training, and our advisors helped us capitalize on each other's strengths to achieve our goals. Working with faculty and staff mentors, I was able to navigate organizational challenges, build partnerships, and learn the ins and outs of project management. These priceless leadership lessons still carry through today, and they have been present in every role that I've had since graduation. Tactically, I apply these transferable leadership skills for cross-functional collaboration at work. Early on, I also learned the importance of seeking advice from experts with more experience than me. And now, as a team lead at Visible Hands, these mentors taught me that success is not just about individual achievement, but about building community and fostering the growth of those around you. Another career readiness competency where I gained invaluable experience at UConn is surrounding equity and inclusion. Throughout my academic journey and working across so many student organizations, I saw synergies and areas of opportunity to promote diversity and inclusivity on campus. One such initiative was the Cultural Center Open House, which we organized for students to attend during spring weekend. Through these initiatives, we were able to create a space where students from diverse backgrounds gathered to learn about one another and build meaningful relationships. My education and real life training on important DEI or diversity, equity, and inclusion principles can be attributed to the mentorship and sponsorship of the incredible staff at the Asian American Cultural Center, and specifically Angela Rolla and Sheila Kuko. These fierce and supportive ladies always sponsored our campus initiatives and became trusted advisors. Through their guidance, I learned firsthand how to cultivate diverse and equitable and inclusive communities on campus and beyond. After graduations, I was able to implement these skills and competencies in the workplace as well. At my first job out of college at Mass Challenge, I actually found my passion for working with underrepresented founders on programs that built a sense of belonging for entrepreneurs who face unique obstacles based on their gender or race. At Vertex, as an innovation external research manager, I leveraged my inclusion and equity education on topics ranging from implicit bias and how to effectively collaborate with people who are much different than you while working as an internal consultant with our HR leadership. Diversity, equity, and inclusion aren't just buzzwords today. According to McKinsey & Company's Diversity Wins report, companies with more diverse workforces are more likely to achieve above average financial returns than their competitors. Companies in the top quartile for gender diversity on their executive teams were 25% more likely to also have above average profitability than the companies in bottom quartile. Additionally, a survey by Glassdoor found that 2/3 of job seekers today look for diversity and inclusion policies when considering job offers. Students that are graduating today who demonstrate cultural awareness and the competency to equitably engage and include people from different backgrounds are poised for success in an increasingly globalized workforce. Also, people will generally want to work with folks who know how to navigate differences and treat everyone with respect. Having psychologically safe and supportive environments to learn about equity and inclusion during a person's formative years can help students stand out to employers. As an employer who hires a co-op every 2 quarters and continually is making hiring decisions, I look for this in recent graduates. Outside of the leadership skills and competencies that I look for around equity and inclusion, I also look for students who commit to their own self and career development. As a student myself, I was obsessed with my own career development. This was supported by great mentors who believed in me and advocated for me even when I didn't believe in myself. NACE describes the self and career development competency as one where students proactively develop oneself and one's career through continual personal and professional learning, having awareness of one's strengths and weaknesses, navigation of career opportunities, and networking to build relationships within and without one's organization. While this is important for every person's career, I recognize that even former student leaders like me, who were high achieving and active, would need help time to time from proactive staff and faculty who serve as career champions. For example, Devin Apotzner, an honors and ACEs advisor, remains someone who I periodically would seek advice from and championed my development at UConn. Devin was incredibly talented at helping students not only by guiding them through career discovery, but also by being a staunch advocate who presented opportunities and challenged our limiting beliefs. When she reached out to me about an opportunity with the Universitas 21 summer term program in Guatemala, I'm not going to lie, I didn't think I was qualified. I wasn't a business student, and my experience with international development projects really only focused on health and education and not on economic development. Further, my Spanish was so bad, no bueno. As a student, I struggled with imposter syndrome. Further, I didn't believe I could afford to study abroad leading into my senior year, and that was a huge blocker for me. Devin not only took the time to nominate me for this program without me knowing, but also helped me find 2 scholarships to cover the full cost of studying abroad. This program had an invaluable impact on my career. It was my first foray into social entrepreneurship and learning how business principles can lead to social transformation. I spent the summer consulting with nonprofits through designing business plans and creative marketing and conducting SWOT analysis and needs assessments, which led to boosted sales for female entrepreneurs in Guatemala. This experience ignited my love for entrepreneurship and showed me its world of possibilities. Devin was always such a great sounding board who helped me seek and embrace development opportunities. And I still continue to seek her guidance throughout my 4 year of college, but afterwards as I navigated my career. Despite being a student who graduated with honors and received the school's highest student leadership award, I had a really hard time finding my first job. During my senior year, I visited the office hours of every single person that I've mentioned before, and my mentors advised me to check out UConn's Center for Career Development, where Paul Gagnon spent hours helping me with interview prep, designing my LinkedIn profile, and teaching me how to unlock access to our alumni network. In the summer of 2015, I applied to 75 jobs. I only got 8 interviews. Some of them were only phone screens. And I spent hours having coffee chats with really kind alumni who lent their time to an eager recent grad. Notably, the only job that I accepted was the one I never filled out an application for. My first job at Mass Challenge came through a LinkedIn email where my manager looked up the word founder, entrepreneurship, in 1 to 2 years out of college. Seeing all of the support that UConn helped me develop through the transferable skills that I needed to succeed in my job, I was able to land the first job through the support of all these people. Dr. Hertel and Juliana helped me as a co-founder at UConn Empower. Devin nominated me for the Social Entrepreneurship Corps, and Paul Gagnon, who helped me build my LinkedIn and interviewing skills. Without the guidance and support of mentors like Juliana Yee, Dr. Shireen Hertel, Paul Gagnon, Angela Rolla, Sheila Kuko, Dr. Copenhaver, and so many more, I may have not found my way here where I am today. After graduating in 2015, I started my career in the startup world, working with over 250 early stage startups and managing relationships with over 15 partners. This taught me the importance of perseverance, adaptability, and having the willingness to take risks. It also helped me develop my skills in program management, stakeholder engagement, and problem solving. From there, I joined a partners whose relationship I was managing for a mass challenge called Vertex Pharmaceutical as an internal innovation consultant, where I worked on different initiatives with the company's leadership and contributed to our DEI efforts. Today, I lead brand and marketing for Visible Hands, and where we support exceptional founders from underrepresented backgrounds in entrepreneurship with the funds, hands-on support, and community that they need to thrive at the earliest stages of company building. I started at the company as a chief of staff, and now I'm really excited that I get to take all of these skills that I've gained along the way and advise digital health and caregiving startups. Looking back, I realized that my UConn experience was not just about building skills and knowledge. It was really about cultivating a mindset of curiosity and a passion for lifelong learning. I learned to be unafraid to ask questions, seek new experiences, and cultivate inclusive environments. Throughout my journey, I have also learned that success is not achieved alone. It really takes a village to support and uplift one another. I am grateful for the many career champions who have believed in me and helped me grow along the way. My experience is a testament to the power of mentorship and sponsorship in shaping a student's career. By providing students with the skills and the support that they need to explore their passions, develop career competencies, and challenge their limiting beliefs, mentors and sponsors can help them achieve their goals and reach their full potential. So, to all of you, faculty, staff, alumni, employers who are being recognized today as career champions, I want to express my deepest gratitude. Thank you for your tireless work of supporting students and for encouraging their curiosities and being the mentors and champions that they need to succeed. You are the backbone of UConn's commitment to developing the next generation of leaders and change makers. Thank you.
Thank you for your words of encouragement and inspiration, Sumia. Everyone, please join me in giving Sumia a virtual round of applause. Okay, we will now move into the Q&A. So our first question for you, Sumia, is did any faculty incorporate the career competencies into their classes that you can recall? And can you talk to us a little bit about what that looked like and how that impacted you?
Yes, definitely. I honestly think like my advisors, Marianne Morris and Dr. Copenhaver, who I see here today, they did such a great job and always making sure that it wasn't like homework or assignments for the sake of assignments, but really helping us develop critical thinking skills that would help us solve problems later. So with Marianne Morris, I still think back to like the 2 or 3 classes I took with her. One was called Healthcare Management for Health Professionals. I mean, hopefully you would, even from that title, think that that is something that helps you develop as a professional seeking some type of role in the healthcare environment. But I learned about things like project management and team building, and we would have group projects where we'd have to come up with a presentation at the end of the quarter. And that was super helpful because I would think working in the career setting is just one big group project. And if students learn how to set schedules and meet deadlines and communicate if they need help, like those are things that are incredibly useful. And the reason why I mentioned Dr. Copenhaver is I think that the best way that some of these professors also help students is the people that I have found really succeed in the career space are ones not only that just get work done, they're the ones who are able to not just tactically finish task or get work done. They are the ones who are able to ask strategic questions. And I do think that Dr. Copenhaver and most of my professors challenged us to think bigger and ask the strategic questions that helped really rocket launch my like leadership skills from like 21, 22-year-old undergrad to having roles where I was able to work with like senior leadership. So asking great questions, project management and team working skills are ones that I think that any student can learn in class.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Somia. I agree. I think those are fantastic skills for them to gain in the classroom. And so it's great that you have some experience with that here as well. Our next question for you is, what are small ways faculty and staff can support students with the career competencies in mind? The study abroad example that you shared is huge and sounds like it was such an incredible experience, but it may be beyond many of our students' grasp. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the small ways that they can support students with this?
Yeah, I do think that like beyond study abroad and different things. And do you want me to touch on like just the overall career readiness, or is the question about like a specific career competency?
It's not about a specific career competency, so I would say feel free to address career readiness as a whole with that one. Just small ways that faculty and staff can support students with career competencies and just career readiness in general.
I Once you graduate, one thing that I think the hardest is, well, there's two things that I believe are very hard for students. One is for about 16 years or so, students at the end of each quarter get a grade or pretty much a stamp of approval of, yes, you are doing a good job, or no, you're not doing the best job in terms of implementing or learning something, right? Grades are a gift in that sense. Feedback is also a gift that people don't always get and students crave as they enter the workforce. And so I think that if teachers or employers or staff or alumni, whoever can give actionable feedback, I think that is something that recent grads crave. And it could be as simple as, so you did a great job today at the speech, but I noticed you fumbled here and there. Maybe next time you should just practice that a little bit more. And there's nothing wrong with that. It actually helps people improve over time. I do find that now in the career, in the workforce, feedback isn't very often. Usually there may or may not be structure for that. So if professors can give feedback on even emails to them, or how students present, or feedback on how they collaborate with others, being a student is the best time and the most formative time for people to learn how they show up or how they present. And it's more of a psychologically safe place because everyone knows they're there for learning. And it doesn't ever feel, or hopefully doesn't feel as personal as it may in a first job.
Thank you, Somia. Those are some great points that you make there. Our next question, and actually has a comment with it as well. It says, wow, what an impressive resume with more to come, no doubt. So proud to call you a Husky. The question is, how would you advise students to find the DE&I commitment from an employer beyond a statement on a website? And thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. It's so inspiring.
Oh, thank you very much. So for me, DEI and being in an environment that is inclusive, but also strives for equity really matters. I'm a woman of color who's trying to work in business, and I have been in environments where companies have cared more and other companies have cared less. And what I usually do is I look not only at the about page, but I look on LinkedIn. Who did they hire? Like, are there people who look like me? Are there like, what is their team page look like? Usually most companies also have just an Instagram or a LinkedIn page where they post about company activities. Are there people who look like you? Do they do volunteer work? Also, I do think that one thing that I would advise students today, especially ones who are going to interview, is an interview is both ways. If this is something that matters to you, bring it up during the interview. About 2 years ago, before I started at Visible Hands, I quit my job, by the way, and started at the startups, which was kind of risky, but I did it. I was interviewing at a place and it seemed like a great opportunity, but there were 10 people in leadership and they were all white males. Right. And then they on their website in the about section, it said that they value diversity and inclusion. And they didn't have a single woman have any type of leadership. And I asked, hey, your company's been around for 20 years, and I see that you're committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Why don't you have any leadership here that is representative of that? And to be very honest, the phone screen person didn't have an answer, and now I don't work there. So I think it's okay to interview employers back about the statements that they say. And I believe that students should understand that they can bring their talent, their time, their energy anywhere. And if they choose to bring it somewhere, it has to also be worth their while.
That's great feedback, Sumia. Thank you so much. And our final question today is along the same lines a little bit here. So you shared so many wonderful examples of experiences that helped you really learn about your interests. You mentioned fueling your curiosities, really trying to just learn as much as you can and develop as many skills as you can. You mentioned the staff and faculty who helped you navigate those experiences, as well as the 75 applications that you submitted after graduating for your first job. What advice do you have for students who would like to break into your industry that our career champions can help share with them?
Yeah, happy to share. I think with venture capital, just overall, it's unfortunately a very niche and hard industry to break into. It doesn't mean it's not possible, but it's just a little bit tougher. The traditional path for venture capital depends on what portion of venture capital you want to break into. You want to break into the finance side, so working as an investor or an associate investor or a general partner one day, or the other side is someone who has more operating experience who can help the portfolio companies in marketing or community or sales or whatever. The way that I would describe my career so far is a janky MBA. I was very lucky to go to UConn on a full ride. So every place I went, I just continued to like take classes, but learn different skills. I learned about business development, marketing, HR, IT until I realized what I wanted. That level or breadth of experience really helped me as a chief of staff, because a chief of staff is an extension of whatever executive team. I was very lucky to break in this way, but anyone who wants to break into this field, as long as they work with early stage companies and have a skill that is very valuable to the investment team or the operating team, could do really well in this space. And I do think some of it just has to do with being bold and networking, because it's such a small industry and it's hard to break into. For better or for worse, a lot of the people who break in are based on personal relationships or professional relationships they have. And so as long as you have that skill and you're bold enough to reach out to someone like me or like someone else in VC, they're usually happy to take a call and help you navigate your career path there.
Great. Thank you so much for that valuable advice. And thank you to everyone who has submitted questions today. We will answer any remaining questions in our follow-up.